All right, so the next piece of the puzzle is identifying the trend or confirming the trend. It's one thing for us to be able to cross that line, but we need to make sure that we are in fact moving in the same direction as the trend indicates. So I'm going to show you a couple of tools. One of them is my absolute favorite. You hear me talk about it lots on my YouTube videos, but that is LuxAlgo. Now LuxAlgo has got a bunch of different tools built into it. And I'm just going to clear out some of the ones that we're not going to be addressing, and I'm going to put it at the default settings. Okay, so LuxAlgo has several different indicators built into it, but we're just going to be focusing on the indicators and the confirmations that have to do with the trend. So, oh, we got one more thing to eliminate here. There we go. All right, so as you can see, we've got confirmations that tell us strong, sell, and buy. Those are giving us an indication of the direction of the trend. Now, some of them are a little bit late. They're not actually really close to the tops and bottoms. And so the great thing about Lux is that we can actually make the adjustments. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the sensitivity down in order to push these confirmations a little bit closer to the tops and bottoms. It's not bad. I'm not adding, I don't think, a little bit of noise over here, but this is a more of a ranging market anyways. Okay, so there I'm actually adding noise that gets a little bit confusing within the trend. So I'm not interested in having that. I want to make sure that it's as clean as possible, but still getting close to the tops and bottoms. So therefore, we have the agility. So I'm at 10 right now in sensitivity. I'm going to bring down the agility. Again, we had some noise pop up there. I would love to be able to see these confirmations get closer to the highs and lows, but in this case, that is not. It's not going to happen without some extra noise within the trend, and I don't want that. So that's that. Now the second way that LuxAlgo can indicate a trend is with the cloud. So if you have the cloud showing, like for instance, I have a tan here, that's showing a bullish trend. When it's darkened, that's a bearish trend. And again, I use these colors. If you watch any of my other videos, you may discover why I chose the colors that I chose. But that is how you can identify a trend in another fashion from LuxAlgo. Now, if you don't have access to LuxAlgo, I'm going to show you another way that you can build your own cloud very, very simply. What you're going to do is that you're going to look for a weighted moving average. And you're going to build two of them. The first one, I recommend that you make it green. And the second one, I recommend making it another color, possibly red. Orange is another good one. Again, pick colors that are going to help you trade. The colors that I choose are very, very specific. And I've got a video about that. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to take that first one, the green one, and we're going to make sure that that moving average stays outside of the price action. So I like to make it fairly significant, because I don't want the price to be cutting this line very often at all. So there's 41. We can see that, you know, on every trend, there's very little interference. This here that's okay, that's acceptable, because that's the kind of thing that happens sometimes. But if you want, you can make it more so, right? So let's try 50. Okay, so that's not bad. Now what we're gonna do is that we're going to actually take that same setting make it 50, but now we're going to offset this weighted moving average. We're going to offset it by such a way, usually about 20, sometimes up to 30. What we're after here is kind of like the cloud that we had created prior. Now this is very rudimentary. You can find other ways of making clouds. There are also a lot of indicators that have clouds as well. I'm showing you the simplest way to build your own cloud. Basically what you're wanting to do is make sure that if you have a bullish cloud, so green on the top, that it is covering the majority of that trend. And that when the trend reverses, you also have a line cross. Now you might not have a confirmation of a reversal until after it crosses into that cloud, and that's normal. That's how clouds behave. But that this is a way that you can determine what kind of trend you're in. You're not using these moving averages necessarily as entries. You can, but you'll find that those entries may be a little bit late. What the purpose of these moving averages over top of each other and offset is simply to let you know what direction the trend is in. So upward trend versus downward trend. And then you use your other moving average that we talked about, like the EMA that I like to use, as your entry line, depending on which side of the cloud this one is on. We'll get into that later. The purpose of this video is to show you how to get a good trend indicator up on your chart. So we'll see you in the next one.